Hi, I'm Sheila L. Haidt, world-class astrologer, tarot master, spellcaster, medium, and all-around magical being. And I'm here today to talk to you about this week's astrology. And this week's astrology is just like last week, and actually the previous weeks, but really in the now, is more about not only this week, but certainly for the next 6 or so months. We have to keep certain things in mind, and we have to keep moving on them and moving with them. So the first thing we're going to look at is the fact that the planet Pluto, and I'll talk more about that in a minute, goes retrograde today. And definitely, well, it doesn't go retrograde today. It goes retrograde on Wednesday. And it's definitely something that we need to pay attention to. And we need to use the energy of Pluto, especially going retrograde, because it's very important to who we are now and how we're growing. So starting with Tuesday, we'll start with Tuesday, the planet Mercury, the planet of how we gather and process information, as well as how we think and how we communicate. Mercury also rules conduits and roadways and plans. Mercury is going to be making a square, an abrasive aspect to the planet Pluto, the planet of transformation, the planet of deep necessary healing, the planet of old karma and past lives, the planet of the ultimate truth. And so Mercury, communication, how we gather and process information, squaring the planet of ultimate truth and deep healing. Already, we know from last week, the planet Mercury went into the sign Taurus. Taurus is a great place to have for Mercury to be, because you think more in terms of beauty and of refinement. You also, though, have a problem with, when I say you, I mean the universal you, have a problem with not being stubborn. You have a problem with going with the flow. Well, with Mercury square Pluto, make that a problem with not being stubborn and not going with the flow. Make that times 100. Because when Mercury squares any planet, there's going to be some friction. But Mercury square Pluto, Pluto is right. And so is Mercury if it's in Taurus or a couple of other signs. So if you've got Mercury that's always right and Pluto that's always right, when they come into conflict with each other, we have, basically we're frozen in time because we're stuck in a place mentally and emotionally. We're stuck in a place. And the only way to get out of that place is to shift or change our minds. Mercury square Pluto is literally about enough already. Go into your heart. What is of value here? And let that do the talking. Very important. So please, with all your might, try very hard not to involve yourself in dead-end conversations. And a dead-end conversation, one of the examples, is one of those things where you know somebody and they have a certain belief, they think a certain way, and you're going to try to talk to them one more time. Stop, please. It's don't waste your breath, don't waste your time, and don't waste their time. People right now have to agree with themselves to shift to flow, or they're not going to shift or flow. There's nothing you can do or say to make them shift or flow. It's a very important time, Mercury-wise and Pluto-wise. Then, as I said before, on Wednesday, Pluto goes retrograde. And Pluto is an outer planet. And outer planets, unlike personal planets like Mercury, Venus, and Mars, Pluto, when it goes retrograde, doesn't just go retrograde for a few weeks. It does it for months. So it's literally going to be retrograde until October, mid-October, for 5 months. And Pluto going retrograde gives us an opportunity, all of us, to do some thorough, emotional, intuitive, psychic house cleaning. And what I mean by that is, where are the bones buried? Where are the bodies buried? And the bones are the bodies of old beliefs, of old fears, of old injuries, of old traumas, old memories that don't serve you, but you keep dredging them up. With Pluto going retrograde, Pluto seeks to get to the ultimate truth and ultimate healing. It's going to move through, and it's going to have a really intense time with Mercury in Taurus, especially for the next few weeks. And what we have to do is, there will be Mercury in Taurus, there will be Mercury in Leo. Those are going to be two very intense times between now and, say, that, let's just call it the next 3 weeks. Mercury in Taurus is what we need to be concerned about. Taurus rules the throat. It rules the throat chakra, and it rules value and self-value. It rules luxury things. It rules a way of understanding that you always have what you always need, and more often what you want. So, do you want peace? Do you want power in your life? Then you need to make an arrangement with Pluto so that there isn't that friction, so that there is a combining of energies to bring up all that needs to be brought up and all that needs to be sorted and moved on. Very, very important. And also this week, on Friday, we've got the sun in a semi-square, a partial square, to the planet Neptune. Anytime Neptune is anywhere near any of the personal planets, and the sun is a personal planet, anytime that happens, you need to be very careful, because is it illusion or is it reality? And if it's reality, is it reality that is valid this day, this moment? So be very careful. This is a great time to dream, to daydream. Great time to write. Poetry is fabulous. To paint. It's a great time to be creative as well. Because as long as you're going within, sometimes by being creative, by losing yourself in creativity, great inner work is being done. I find that as a creative person, when I give myself to my project, that at the end of whatever amount of time I spend with it, I have so much has come up, come out, and gotten clear. And I invite you to do the same. And if you don't currently have a creative project, go out and find one, make one, learn to do something new. This is a great time, and the aspects are great for that. So until next week, I want you to remember a very important thing, and it is, I am only one, but I am one. I cannot do everything, but I can do something, and I will not let what I cannot do prevent me or interfere with me doing what I can do. So be well. Bye.